Discuss this further. Joining me now is the Azerbaijani ambassador to Turkey, Khazar Ibrahim. Ambassador, thank you very much for coming to Straight Talk. I just want to ask you, 27 years since the Khojaly Massacre took place, how does this anniversary resonate amongst the Azerbaijanis?
Of course, it resonates among all Azerbaijanis in the world, in Azerbaijan. We all consider ourselves from Khojaly, from Karabakh, from Shusha, because there is not a single person in Azerbaijan who has not been affected by that. It could be morally, it could be family-wise, it could be of any kind. So therefore, we lived with that for the last 27 years and probably will live our entire lives.
As you said, there's not even a single person from that country who hasn't been touched by this massacre. Do you have any personal memories?
Well, absolutely, absolutely. I do have my memories. I was 14 years old. I do remember like it was yesterday. I was carrying stuff to my sister's house, and my hometown is quite far away from Khojaly. And when I was coming back, one older person told me, "My son, you know what is happening today?" And I was like, because we had all these tragedies, we had occupation, we had military aggression by Armenia then, so I would have expected that something bad happened, but I could not have imagined so harsh. And he told me, he said, well, it's huge massacre. People are being killed, kids, women. So when you're 14 years old, when you're at school, and when you're hearing things like this, and you can never forget it, you know, it's really impossible.
Kids, women, children, nearly 613 Azerbaijanis got massacred. What do you think, and the fact is that no Armenian has ever faced trial. What do you think it says about the role of international community? Do you think they've failed Azerbaijan somewhere?
I think they failed not only Azerbaijan, they failed humanity, because it's innocent people. There was not a single combatant then in Khojaly. It was, as you said, kids, women, elderly people who were massacred, despite the fact that they had even no weapons to resist. And there had to be humanitarian corridor, and when they tried to flee, they were ambushed and killed, irrespective of who they were and in what conditions they were. Yes, international community failed us, but mostly they failed these innocent people. And the even bigger problem is that those people who perpetrated this massacre, and in fact it's genocide, those people afterwards said that they pre-planned it, they wanted to punish us, and they wanted actually to show that they were not joking with Azerbaijanis. These people then became leaders of Republic of Armenia, and international community embraced them in some sense. This is really tragedy of international system and international order we're having.
It goes to show there isn't enough global recognition of the massacre. What is Azerbaijan doing to get the global community to recognize it as a massacre?
I wouldn't say that there is no global recognition, because there's several states, several countries, there's several states in the United States, for example, which have recognized Khojaly as genocide or massacre. And Azerbaijan, of course, trying to deliver this message to the world and trying to show what really has happened. And it's not just Azerbaijan, because there were eyewitnesses among Azerbaijanis, but also there were some journalists coming from the West and from other parts of the world. And they actually delivered these messages as well. In the Western media, in some international non-governmental organizations, there were some depictions of this tragedy and all this barbarity which has happened, and will continue this way. But of course, we all know, and it's not a secret, that there are double standards in international arena. Unfortunately, we see it not only in Azerbaijan, we see it in many other places. But of course, I'm coming from Azerbaijan, and not only as a diplomat, but also as a human being. For me, it's very hard to see that when you're having tragedies like this, when you're having innocent lives lost, international community does not respond properly.
And what are you trying to do to get that response?
Well, actually, we are delivering our message. For example, as ambassador of Azerbaijan in Turkey, now I'm in Istanbul, I'm flying to Adana, we're having another conference there. Yesterday we had 5 events in Ankara. among the diplomats. We had it with Lawyers Association. We had it at several universities. We had at 2 other municipalities. We had even today at the embassy, which was together with the Youth Forum of Islamic Cooperation. We had in Istanbul events. We had all around Turkey. And there is recognition from every spectrum in Turkey, for example. And I'm in Turkey. I'm trying to do it
beyond Turkey?
Beyond Turkey in many other parts. For example, 2 days ago, there was a huge demonstration in Brussels, basically capital of Europe. And Azerbaijanis from all around Europe came and demonstrated and called for the justice for Khojaly. And they were joined actually by Europeans because, well, it's really impossible. It was just 27 years ago. It's really impossible not to know what has happened. When things happen centuries ago, you have to go into archives, you have to look into the things. But when things happen just less than 3 decades ago, and you still have the people
who are still alive and witness.
Absolutely, and who are eyewitnesses. We had 4 of them in Ankara, for example, and they went to other parts of Turkey. And one person, the eyewitness, he himself, he was doctor, he was medical doctor. He was tortured, he was in front of his eyes, several of his relatives, neighbors were killed, maimed. When you're having this, it's really impossible.
And despite that, there are still countries who have shut their eyes to the reality that you want to say.
That's absolutely true, and it's really unfortunate. But despite the fact, as you said, that they shut their eyes, and despite the fact we're having double standards, we'll continue to demand justice for Khojaly.
Who are these countries?
Well, I don't want to name them. I don't want to name them. But what I want to say is that those who are responsible by international law, by their commitments to help to solve the conflict, to help to solve and to put an end to the continued illegal military occupation of Azerbaijani territories by Armenia, they have to step up.
Okay, silence is not the answer. You talked about the Armenian occupation of Nagorno-Karabakh, which is the larger conflict. And I just want to get your comment on, do you see Armenia still pursuing its expansionism? Are they even willing to discuss the conflict?
Yeah, we do discuss. We do discuss, and we have to put it straight. We do discuss. We have, through OSCE, we have Minsk Group, we have Minsk Group co-chairs, and through that format, we are discussing it. Foreign ministers are meeting. There was some contacts between the presidents with the new leadership in Armenia. We do really hope that they will be more realistic, they will be more humane, and they will be more pragmatic in order to understand there is no other way than to recognize your mistakes, your crimes, and also to understand, also for the better future of Armenia, they cannot continue the occupation, illegal and military occupation of the territories of the neighbors. So we are discussing that. But more important question here is probably why others who are responsible to convince those who perpetrated these crimes, who continue occupation, to do their work and persuade them to be committed to international law. So Turkey did it as brother, but Turkey was very much committed to international law and international commitments. So Turkey is here is a credible player.
Ambassador Khazar Ibrahim, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.